What's up, guys? This is Matt here. And I'm going to take you on a journey through my disc golf bag. I'm going to show you what I've been throwing. I've had a couple people request this video, so I'm finally getting around to it. I'm sorry it took as long as it did, but I hope you enjoy this. I know I'm going to enjoy making this. I always love talking about discs. But before we get into that, I want to tell you just a little bit about my background with disc golf, or my abbreviated background with disc golf. I remember first getting exposed to disc golf a very, very long time ago, probably somewhere in mid to upper elementary school. I remember going with a friend and his dad to play disc golf once. And the only thought that I really remember having from that is just how in the world do people get these discs to go nearly as far as they do? I remember I looked at the course and par 3, I'm like, no, that's impossible. But getting around to now, I really started playing in March. There are some people who I lived with who went out and played every now and then, and they invited me. And as soon as I really thought about it, not even the first time I played this March, but as soon as I thought about playing this March, I'm like, this is right up my alley. I really enjoy doing things outside. I enjoy being competitive. I'm a very competitive person. And then I thrive on things that require precision and repetition. So I just knew that this was going to be right up my alley. And sure enough, as you can see by this rack behind me and by what you're going to see in the bag, since March, I have completely fallen off the deep end. And honestly, if I have not gotten into disc golf, I probably would have gotten about half the steps that I've gotten over the summer, just because it's hard to do stuff right now. So disc golf has really been an amazing thing for me over the past couple months. Helped keep me sane during the crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now. So anyway, let's get into this. This is the bag that I'm currently using. I absolutely adore this bag. This is the Grip Equipment BX2. This is the second largest bag that Grip makes. I just thought the scale of it, the dimensions and whatnot were a little bit better than the AX4. Also, the AX4 doesn't have these little D-rings on it, and I really enjoy these D-rings. They're a really great place to hang my bag tag. I don't know if you can see this. This is for the advanced division of the Houston Disc Golf Group. I played my first advanced division event this past week, and I got last. So this is the highest number tag for the advanced division, but nobody can call me a sandbagger. Don't be a sandbagger. I got my nice whale sack. I really like this guy. It's actually my third different grip enhancer, but I had a birdie bag, which I liked okay, and then I had a sports sack with the hand-eye stuff. I'm a big fan of hand-eye, if you couldn't tell. But both of those I ended up losing because they're just, stand-alone, as opposed to this one, which the whale sack ties on, which is evidently I need, because I'll lose it. And then I have a nice pink and blue goat towel, greatest of all towels, that I've really been liking because it's got microfiber for the water, but then also this waffle-ish kind of stuff for dirt and grass and whatnot. So it's really good for that. I also carry on one of these quick sticks. It's been useful a number of times. I got a nice jacket in here. I have a nice hand-eye utility jacket I really love. Nice little hand-eye keychain. 2 big old water bottles. So I absolutely love this bag. I think it's going to be great for me for a really long time. I don't know why I would ever really need another disc golf bag. If I ever got another one, it'd be a downsize. I started off in one of those little over-the-shoulder Discraft bags. I think it's the Discraft tournament bag or something. And it was a solid little bag. It got me through 6 months of playing 4 or 5 times a week before it started to wear down a little bit. I still use it every now and then if I don't want to carry this guy around, but absolutely fantastic bag. Highly recommend it. Can't go wrong with anything by Grip. So as for the discs themselves, let's go slow to fast. So in the top of this bag here, I got my putter pocket. It says it only holds 2, but I've actually gotten 4 in there most of the time. Right now, my go-to putter is I have these Wardens, these Prime Wardens Some of my stuff is gonna have some tape on it, by the way. That's just because Glow Golf is happening a lot right now, so excuse the glow tape. But Prime, Smoke, Burst, Wardens with Gold Stamp. I've used a couple different putters in the past. I started like a lot of people using the Innova starter set, and I like the AVR quite a bit. So I actually have a couple of XT AVRs back there on that shelf, but there was a point when I thought that those might be a little too deep for what I prefer. So then I moved over to Lunas, but then those Lunas were just a little bit too stable for what I wanted, and so now I'm using the Wardens, and I've been really happy so far. I have a very straight putt, not much hyzer, not much anhyzer. Just goes straight at the basket, and so having something that doesn't really have much turn or fade, but a lot of glide is really good for me. So I actually ordered another pack of, I ordered a 5-pack of classic Wardens that'll be here soon. So I think I've pretty much committed to the Wardens for at least the next couple years. I really like them. In addition to that, in the top of my bag, I do have one Deputy with me, one classic blend Deputy, and this I just have because it's good to have a really nice understable putter just for scramble shots. If I ever have to do like an awkward reach out and I want something that I know I can throw soft but it'll still hold an anhyzer, I'll pull this guy out. Or if I'm trying to jump putt from a really long way away as an approach, I might pull this out just because it will go a little bit straighter over that kind of distance, but highly recommend the Deputy too. Nice little understable putter. Okay, into the main compartment. This is a Pure. It's a black Pure with a nice Texas State Championship stamp that's covered up by tape. Recently, this is actually a pretty new addition to the bag. It's only been in there for a couple weeks now, maybe like 2 weeks. I think I got it Black Friday. So the reason I have this in the bag is because I don't want to use my throwing putters, or my putting putters, excuse me, for approaches. But I also realized I didn't really have a designated approach putter. The only approach discs that I used were some really overstable stuff. And I felt like I needed something that's just dead straight. And so when I got this in a mystery bag for Black Friday, I decided, sure, I'll bag it for now. If I remember just throwing a nice straight backhand approach shot, I'll pull this out. So, not much to say about it yet, just because I don't have that much experience with it, but I've had a couple really nice straight approaches with it, so I think it's doing well with what I want it to do. So, there's that Pure. The next disc is somewhat of a weird wild card for me. It's a Streamline Pilot in Neutron plastic. And this mold, not this disc, but this mold is the one and only ace mold I have so far. I aced with it a couple weeks ago, actually on the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. About 220 feet, just a slight ante with it, right into the chains during a glow round. It's actually right here, the screen one. Same exact mold, same exact weight, but as soon as I aced with it, I knew I was going to retire my first ace disc. So I carry this now. This is like kind of a designated throwing off the tee putter. That's why it's in the Neutron plastic, which is the whole reason I bought it. I just picked it up at a store and I'm like, wow, this Neutron plastic feels amazing. So if you haven't felt the Neutron plastic, highly recommend it. This is just a really good, very straight throwing putter. Get this out, it's a 250, easy, not really much work required. And it's always gonna have a special place in my heart, purely because it's the ace mold that I have. So yeah, I like it a lot if you're looking for a nice straight throwing putter. I've tried a couple others. There's a Luna that I really like. Actually, that's the only other like designated throwing putter I've tried is a Luna, which I liked a lot, but again, bought it out of curiosity, ended up acing with it, so of course it's gonna stay in the bag for a while. Now for my approach discs. I have tried a couple different approach discs. I was really into the Zone for a while, and I still really like the Zone. So I have an ESP Zone with me. I used to use a Jawbreaker Zone for approach shots, both forehand and backhand, but buying it with the intention of using it as an overstable approach disc, it just didn't hold that spot for very long, because the Jawbreaker plastic, it did not come as overstable as an ESP plastic zone, and it also beat in really fast to become really not stable. It was very straight, which is fine, and I think it's still a great disc. It just didn't fill the spot that I bought it for at the moment, so it's kind of worked its way out of the bag for now. But the ESP zone, I love it. I love it for flicks. I love it for backhands. If I needed to go fairly hard left, around 250-ish, maybe 200 to 250-ish is kind of the range for this guy off the tee. But then for actual approach shots, I recently started using this. This is kind of the replacement that I got for the Jawbreaker zone. There's glow tape on it, but this is a soft Tactic. This thing is very overstable, and I think it's going to stay there for a while. And this soft plastic is it's great. It feels great in the hand. The one rainy round that I had to lean on this a lot because I didn't have very much base plastic stuff, but very sticky, grabs the ground, super overstable. Both forehand and backhand approaches, anywhere where I'm just doing a standstill about maybe 150 to jump putt range. I really like this Tactic. Highly recommend trying out a Tactic. Real similar to the Zone, real similar to the Harp, but it's a good disc. Can't go wrong with the Tactic. Now we're gonna move up to the mids. And I have quite a few mids that kind of move in and out. I started using some buzzes. I have a couple buzzes up there. Highly recommend the Buzz. The Buzz is a great disc. It's not in my bag at the moment, and I'll explain what I do have in my bag. In terms of understable mids right now I'm bagging the Meteor. I picked this up because I realized I didn't really have any understable mids with me. And so I saw this, it felt great in my hand. The Z plastic feels really nice. And so here it is. This thing is probably the disc that I have that feels the most like a regular, like Ultimate Frisbee. I think this would be a great disc for somebody who is used to throwing a regular Frisbee, but wants to try disc golf. Very glidey. If you throw it on a touch of hyzer, it'll flip up, glide, maybe turn over a little bit. But great disc, really easy to throw, really good for touch and hyzer kind of stuff. Or maybe escape, scramble kind of stuff. But I like the Meteor. I haven't used it a ton, but when I have used it, I've really enjoyed it. My next mid-range is kind of a wild card that I did not ever expect to like, but this is a Champion Manta. Sorry, all the stuff is covered by glow tape, but it's weird. It's kind of cool too because it's Innova, but it's got the Infinite Disc stamp. I got it as a mystery disc with an order from Infinite Discs, and I didn't really expect to like it, but this has become one of my favorite discs to throw. It is a 5-speed, but it has a very shallow rim for a mid-range, and I think because of that, I can crank on it a lot harder just because it kind of feels like a fairway driver in the hand, and it pretty much goes dead straight for me. So it's just kind of point and shoot, dead straight, about 280, 300 feet, flat. So I really like this disc. This is probably the disc that I'll pull out if there's a gap I need to hit backhand that I need to hit. And so, kind of weird. The reviews for it that I've read are really not that great, but it's been working really well for me. And that's what matters. If it works well for you and you have confidence in it, use it. Whatever helps you get the disc in the basket the fastest. So, Champion Manta. Interesting pick, but really like it. For my slightly stable or, pretty straight flyer, other than the Manta, this is a touch more stable than the Manta. I have a nice Lucid EMAC Truth that I really like. This is what's kind of replaced those buzzes that I've thrown in the past. The buzzes really got nothing to say that's bad about them. This one, I just can rely on the fade a little bit more than the buzzes, and the Manta feels great. So, EMAC Truth, great disc, highly recommend. Good stuff. This next disc might be the favorite disc that I have in my bag at the moment, and that is, well, at least in terms of looks. I haven't thrown it very much, but this baby. This is a Dynamic Discs Verdict, overstable mid-range. I'm gonna try to use the light to kind of show off everything that's going on here. It's just an absolutely beautiful disc. I got this Black Friday as well, but it is a very, very flat top Verdict. I actually have a couple other Verdicts that I've acquired since then, and they're both really, really domey. This one is super flat on the top, which is great. I like this one a lot more than the other two Verdicts that I have, because the flat top is so much more friendly to forehands. The domey discs just don't feel very good forehand, but this feels great forehand, and that's kind of why I got it. There was a point where I was kind of like, I have drivers and I have a zone that I'm comfortable throwing forehand, but I didn't really have any mid-ranges. So this has been a great forehand mid-range for me. And it works great backhand too. If you need it to go maybe like 260, 270, but finish left pretty hard, this is a great disc. And it's just so pretty. I have to brag it. It's so pretty. I gotta show it off. Anyway, there's that. Now we're gonna move up into the kind of the fairway driver area, which is honestly a place that I don't have a ton of discs. I was kind of bad about when I started skipping right to distance drivers and kind of skipping over fairway drivers just because I'm like, you gotta go fast. But it's probably not what I should have done. I realized I should have used fairway drivers, but I do use these discs. This is a brand new, pretty much Fusion Maverick. I actually have a Lucid Maverick up there that I've thrown a lot more. I'm just kind of giving this one a try out, but Maverick is a fantastic, really straight flying fairway driver. If you haven't tried a Maverick, I highly recommend it. Either Lucid or Fusion, both great plastics. So, love the Maverick. This one I'm actually going to take the tape off of the front just because it's so pretty. This is kind of the same as that Verdict. This is an Explorer. I think it's Opto X Chameleon or something is the actual name. But absolutely beautiful disc. Great flyer. Definitely more stable than like a Fusion Explorer would be, which I have one that I threw for a while. But Explorer's great. This is a beautiful disc. I'm going to throw this for a long time and really like it. And I do really like it. Now moving up into the 9 speeds. I have an Undertaker with me right now. I don't throw it a ton. It has to be a very specific distance and a very specific, I don't know. There's just not very many times that I would go for an Undertaker over either a distance driver or the Explorer or the Maverick, just because that distance window for me is so small. But the times that I've thrown it, I do really like the Undertaker. I also have an Escape up there that has the same exact flight numbers that I really like. But yeah, the Undertaker's great, and again, this disc is just so beautiful. This grap's really starting to get the burst stuff going really well, so I like the Undertaker a lot. Feels great. I just don't end up throwing it that much just because I'm bad about remembering to throw my fairway stuff. This is another new disc that I'm about to show you. And I'm also taking some tape off the front to show off the stamp a little bit. This is a nice hand-eye overstable stamp Felon. I've only had this for about a week or so, but I absolutely love it. It really helped fill that void for me as well. I was kind of talking about, I either had distance drivers that I was really comfortable throwing forehand and a zone. But this guy's great. Super overstable. You put a lot of ante on it, trust it to come back. You can crank on it without worrying that it's going to turn over on you. And again, absolutely beautiful disc. Highly recommend a Felon if you want something overstable that's really great for forehand. Moving up a little faster, I have an Avenger SS. I found this with no ink on it whatsoever on a course in Dallas, Alex Clark. Very popular course. I don't know exactly what weight it is, but I feel like it's pretty light. Just huge turnover shots. If I want to just absolutely unload a turnover shot, backhand, and have it go pretty hard right, I'm pulling this out. Pretty fun disc to throw, but it's kind of niche. I might also throw rollers with it eventually, but I haven't really implemented a roller into my game yet, which I need to do. So this disc is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this disc. I just don't end up throwing it that much. This is another beautiful disc. This is a Renegade. This is an 11-speed disc. I threw this a while ago, a couple months ago, and then I haven't really messed with it much since, but then it made it back in my bag today because I wanted to try it for the round that I played today. Didn't end up throwing it, but I think this could be a nice little workhorse 11-speed for me. It felt great. A couple times I've thrown it, I just haven't thrown it that much recently. A little faster still, I got a Hades. I used to throw a lot of Shrikes. I'm a big fan of the Shrike. And this is kind of a similar vibe to one of my lighter Shrikes that I had. This is a 171 gram Hades. I really bought it because I was curious about the hype behind the Hades. And it's just a beautiful disc. I'm a big sucker for blue. And I like it. It's good for flip up, like hyzer flip shots or nice big flex shots. The only downside to these Paul McBeth series is they're kind of expensive sometimes, just because they're so sought after, but really great disc. I really enjoy throwing it. So not many complaints about it. I really like it. This disc is one of my favorites as well. This is a Star Destroyer. I think it's only 167 grams though. Yeah, 167. This is a custom die that I did when I was messing around with trying to do some shaving cream dyes that I'm really happy with. This is the color. Great for flicks. Also, it's starting to beat into where I can really get it to go straight for a long time, backhand. So this is one of my longer distance discs for sure. And it's just really easy to throw. If there's not much wind to deal with, then I can really unload on this for a while, just because it's a little bit lighter than some of my other drivers. My favorite disc golf distance driver mold is probably the Raider. I actually lost my favorite Raider today when I was playing. I just turned over a forehand really badly in a headwind and I threw it behind somebody's fence and I couldn't get it back, which is really sad because it's my oldest Raider, my least stable Raider. But I have this Raider with me too, and I have about 2 more brand new, pretty much Fusion Raiders on my shelf back there that I'm really looking forward to beat in. This one's a really cool double stamp Texas disc golf that I really like. Great for forehand, great for backhand, just an absolute bomber of a disc. And the Fusion plastic beats in pretty nicely to where it's not too like much of a meat hook, whereas some distance drivers they're pretty much hard left backhand, and you gotta be really crazy to do anything with it. This turns into a disc that's not very hard to throw. So I'm looking forward to beating these in. I love the Raiders a lot. So Raiders. I actually have a second Raider with me. This is my nice hand-eye Raider. This plastic is significantly more stable than the Fusion plastic. And so this is kind of my designated overstable distance driver. Great for absolutely cranking on a forehand, or if I need a backhand to finish left pretty hard. And that actually does it. That's the last disc that I have in my bag. I hope you enjoyed me going through my discs. I know there was a lot to be there and this is a pretty long video, but I enjoyed showing them off, and I look forward to using this video as a reference, see kind of how my game morphs. And a lot of the stuff kind of goes in and out of my bag. You can see this top shelf here is kind of stuff that I enjoy throwing. So all of this stuff on the top shelf could potentially come in and out of my bag, but this is what I'm throwing right now. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time.